Per request of one of the participants, I am starting a 3-week series of talk about nutrition, which is really in general, but one of the sessions would be particular to nutrition during treatments for cancer. So today I would talk about prevention. Prevention is a strong word. There's no food that or anything that would guarantee that nobody gets cancer. So reduction may be a more proper word to use. So I would talk generally about nutrition as a lifestyle, not as a diet. Not something that you do for a short period of time before treatment or after treatment or during treatment. This is a lifestyle. My source of information is mainly American Cancer Society, but I have to tell you, as an oncologist, I don't know about Australia or Europe or Canada, but field of oncology is an extremely politicized field. So even when it comes to American Cancer Society recommendation, I take things with a grain of salt. And the reason is that, at least at the United States of America, food industry is owned by tobacco industry. Yes, you heard it correct. Our food in the United States is controlled by tobacco companies. And they use the same vicious methods that they have extensively researched and studied to create food addiction. Food addiction is number one addiction in the United States of America, and single-handedly is responsible for number one health crisis in the United States of America, especially in our children, and that is obesity. When you enter a grocery store in the United States of America, nothing is left to chance. Everything has been studied. So where every food is located in the grocery store has been studied. That is why all the bad foods that are bad for you, are in the center of store. And if you have any chance in finding good food in our grocery stores, it would be in the peripheral store. Also, at each aisle, which food is located at, even which shelf the food is located at, every single detail about the packaging of the food, whether it's the color or the size or the shape or the font they use or the pictures they use on the box or what they write on it, it has been extensively studied. That is why you see that cereal are in lower shelves, because that's at the eye level of our children. That is in addition to the fact that if you watch TV or if your children watch TV, ads are scientifically studied as how they can affect the choices you will later make when you go to a grocery store. What you buy is controlled by the ads, especially children. In addition to the obvious ads, every time you watch TV, You're bombarded by subliminal messages that you don't even see on the screen, but they would literally hypnotize you, program your brain in buying the products you buy. Unfortunately, the research that is conducted in this country is often financed by the very food industry, by the very tobacco industry. Our politicians are all sold out to these gigantic multi-billion-dollar industries. They lobby for them. They give them millions of dollars to run their campaigns. And this money does not go to them for free. They expect favors when they have been elected as our officials. And sadly, most of our officials, most of our representatives are giving the favor back to these industries, and they don't have our best interest in mind when they vote. They have their own best interest in mind. All they care is re-election. With that, not very optimistic view of me as an oncologist in US, I will attempt to give you the recommendations for American Cancer Society to the best I can, and might interject my own opinion about some of them as we talk. So the number one factor associated with cancer in the United States of America is tobacco abuse. Number two is excessive weight. And number three is alcohol. I don't talk about tobacco, it's very obvious. I talk about weight. About 11% of cancers in women in the United States and 5% of cancers in the United States. 11% in women, 5% in men are attributed to excess weight. Breast cancer, colorectal cancer, endometrial cancer, hands down, there's no question about it. It is associated with being overweight. I'm not saying everybody who gets this cancer, they're overweight, but I'm saying that people are overweight, they are at a higher risk of developing these three cancers. There are other cancers that have been studied and have been associated, and I named them. Cancer of esophagus, kidney cancer, liver cancer, ovarian cancer, cancer of pancreas, stomach, thyroid, multiple myeloma, meningioma, which is a benign tumor of brain, non-Hodgkin's lymphomas, male breast cancer, cancers of head and neck, and aggressive forms of prostate cancer. Independent of your weight, the level of your physical activity affects your risk of developing cancer. You need about 150 to 300 minutes of moderate activity or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous, intense activity per day to meet the American Cancer Society guidelines. Physical activity, or lack of it, has been attributed to colon cancer with the strongest link, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, bladder cancer, cancer of esophagus, stomach, and to some degree, lung cancer, head and neck cancer, liver cancer, cancer of pancreas, prostate cancer, and ovarian cancer. Moderate activity is something like walking, jogging, playing, for fun, volleyball or soccer or a variety of games, tennis. Vigorous is really something like running marathons or this biking, intense biking that they have at the gyms. So that is considered vigorous activity. Now, when it comes to food, the most two important components of your food are vegetables and fruits. You need about 2.5 to 3 cups of vegetables and about 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit per day. The color in the vegetables and in fruits is not just for the beauty of it. The deeper, darker colors represent vegetables and fruit high in antioxidants. Antioxidants protect us against cancer. So if you look at berries, strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, blackberry, and pomegranate, those dark red colors, they are a sign of very high content of antioxidants. So when it comes to vegetables and fruit, you want to choose a variety of vegetable and fruit in different colors. So dark green, red and orange vegetables. Fiber, extremely important, directly correlated with colorectal cancer. It not only helps with the bowel movement, it also controls or regulates digestion of the food. So high fiber food helps to lose weight, and also it affects gut bacteria. So food rich in fiber include a variety of beans, soy food, soybean, other vegetables such as cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, onions, garlic, tomato products. And when it comes to fruit, as I mentioned, you want to have a variety of colorful fruits. It is very important that you choose whole grain that has its original kernel. It has been shown to lower risk of colorectal cancer. Mediterranean food has been proven to reduce not only the risk of cancer, but also the risk of cardiovascular disease. And it's a diet rich in whole grain, nuts, seeds, vegetables, and fruits. When it comes to red and processed meat, you want to either eliminate or significantly limit your consumption. Processed meat has been classified as group 1, meaning hands down carcinogenic food. That includes sausage, bacon, all forms of processed meat. Red meat, that is where it comes with a grain of salt, has been classified as group 2A, probably carcinogenic. Now, meat industry is the industry in the United States that sued Oprah Winfrey for saying something on her show about red meat. Took her to court for that. She won. But do you think they're going to sit silent if American Cancer Society says red meat is carcinogenic? No. So I take that probable carcinogenic with a grain of salt. Red meat and processed meat has been proven to be associated with both breast and prostate cancer. If you're not a vegetarian or vegan, you want to consume fish and poultry instead of red meat. The other thing that you want to either significantly limit or eliminate from your food is sugar. Sugar-sweetened beverages, candy, it has to be less than 10% of your calories per day for added sugar. One of the places that you find a lot of sugar is in highly processed food. They not only have high content of fat and sugar, they also have refined grains instead of whole grains, and they have a lot of sodium. These include industrially produced grain-based desserts, ready to eat or ready to heat food, snack foods, other food that often do not resemble their original plant or animal. So that should be your rule of thumb. If what you're eating doesn't look like the plant that is in the ingredient or the animal, you probably shouldn't be eating it. Unfortunately, more than or up to 60% of daily calories in the United States households come from highly processed food and beverages. Fast food, you want to avoid that. Generally speaking, Western type diet as opposed to Mediterranean type diet has higher risk of developing cancer and cardiovascular disease. Alcohol, I said that would be number 3 proven correlated factor with developing cancer. For breast cancer, it has been researched to death. There is no amount of safe consumption of alcohol. Every ounce of it counts. But if you must drink, you should limit your drink. For women, 1 drink per day. For men, because of their size, 2 drinks a day. But if you're a petite man, small, probably you want to limit it to 1. What is 1 drink of alcohol? It's not about what you drink. It's about its alcohol content, ETOH. 1 drink of alcohol is about 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, and 1.5 ounces of hard liquor. When was the last time that you had a glass of wine which was 5 ounces? The glass of wines in the United States are getting bigger and bigger. I go to a place that is vegan, and every time they ask me whether I want a 9-ounce glass of wine or 6 ounce of glass of wine. I don't drink. Very, very, very rarely. If I do, it's definitely not more than 5 ounces of wine. Tobacco use. It's very clear. I had a neck cancer. And what is scary is that consuming alcohol and abusing tobacco, they don't have additive effect. They have exponential effect. That has been proven. Somebody who drinks and smokes has many folds higher risk of head and neck cancers, cancer of esophagus, liver cancer, colorectal cancer, breast, stomach. So that is something to be very conscious of. Now, calcium and vitamin D, they don't have enough emphasis in my experience as how low vitamin D and low calcium is associated with not only cancer, but many other chronic diseases such as MS, insomnia, you name it. And this happened when we became industrialized societies. When I was a kid, my parents would call me for meals to come inside the house because the rest of the time I was outside playing under the sun. So obviously I didn't have any vitamin D deficiency or calcium, wasn't low in calcium. The reason that the number of or rate of chronic diseases, insomnia, many diseases have exponentially increased after we moved in, when we became sedentary in lifestyles, sitting, staring at our computers, our cell phones, watching TV, our children. I had a hard time getting my child to come outside of the house and play, because all she wanted to do was play computer games and watch TV. So they don't get enough sun. We do not get enough sun. And because of that, we are low in vitamin D. Unfortunately, our doctors don't routinely test the level of our vitamin D. I had to fight my own doctor to order a vitamin D level for me. And because it was so hard to get an order from her, I found a company where I can order my own tests, blood tests. So I do a monthly vitamin D level because of my insomnia, and have regulated my very low vitamin D level to a normal level just by monitoring it. So I do recommend that you monitor your vitamin D level, especially if you have a darker skin or live in northern latitudes. Stay indoor a lot and do not consume sources of vitamin D. One last word today is about supplements. Not that I fully trust FDA, but supplements in the United States have no oversight, not by FDA, not by any other oversight agency. When you enter GNC or vitamin shop, when the whole store is stacked with supplements, and look at nutritional fact on the bottle, there's absolutely zero guarantee that what they claim is in their supplement actually is. So for that reason, American Cancer Society suggests that you get your nutrition and minerals through food, vegetables, normal sources. But if for any reason you cannot have adequate amount of food, for example, during treatment, they recommend that you take one multivitamin per day that none of its components exceed the daily required value. In the next session, or next week, we will expand on more specific issues such as using microwave, sugar, coffee, things that have been questionable or controversial, whether they increase risk of cancer, they don't, GMOs, things like that. So I hope you can join me next week for that discussion. And we will end the following Saturday with nutrition during receiving treatments for cancer. Thanks for your attention. I hope you have a great week. Thank you.